Hello, everyone, and welcome to the second live of the 30-day challenge. And today we start with the banner that is gonna determine what we're gonna be talking today. And you say, Susan, how you show that funny rat and suddenly you showing this? Because you wouldn't expect how things are related. Hi, everyone. My name is Susan Ivitz. I'm a behavioral neuroscience strategy, and I specialize in helping people. I take a dead horse and I make it win the derby. The reason we are having this live today is because you never know when people coming from when they ask you for help. Let me tell you how we ended up learning, researching, and helping people due to this topic. It was around, I think, 2023 in November. It's going to be 2 years. We received the weirdest email on the production, and somebody says, I need your help, but I need to make sure you don't tell anyone that you're going to be helping me or we're going to be talking. I'm like, okay, this is weird. And by the way, drop your comments. I'm alone today. My team is not going to be here, but I would love to hear that you hear me and you're there. And if you have any questions, and if I don't reply to your questions now, please reply. Put it on the comment and I'm going to reply later. So long story short, we jump in this meeting and I jump on the meeting with the lawyer of the company because this is, I don't know what is going on. Because when you set a meeting with us, you have the chance to sign an NDA and the person says, yeah, I will not going to give you any more information until we don't sign an NDA. Logical, I don't move without my lawyer, Mark Schroeder, and says, Mark, we need you on this meeting. We jump and this timid woman in late 50s show up on the meeting and says, I have a boss that is toxic, is drowning us, is killing us. And because he's the boss, is no way we can fight against that. So we look with Mark and says, and what we can do? And says, is any way that you can come up with a plan where everybody on the company who make decisions, which country? I'm in United States, I'm in Chicago. I don't know if you ask him for this case. This case happened in the United States. I cannot tell the state because it was a huge company. So is any way that you can provide me information or you send information to specific people that I'm going to give you on the company to start understanding that what this person is doing and what is doing to us is toxic, is danger, and we need help. So we ended up the call. We jump with the team and says, okay, how are we going to design that? And we come up with a solution. We talk with our team, we talk with our lawyer, and we jump in another conversation. This time with this person and 5 more coworkers. Now this escalating, getting more complicated. What we decide is we target a specific people on the company, sending articles for 2 months, once a week, about toxic situations, what are the consequences to having a toxic boss, and how they can be fixed. Guess what? In one of the annual meetings, these 6 people who was on the meeting with us bring the subject to other coworkers to the point that was inevitable for the company address it. We worked with this company, I would say, for almost a year, and the results were amazing. So what I'm saying with this, you never know who can help you. You never know who can reach to help you. And in my case, and I'm so grateful for that, not for the situation, but grateful for the person who approached us, because that developed a complete training and consulting that we do with companies. So with this says, this is the email that you can contact us, consulting@susanivitz.com. If you have any problem related to any of the situations that we're going to address today, we are not psychologists, we are not therapists, but we can give you numbers if you need to deal with manipulation, toxic work environment, sexual and child abuse, bullying, domestic violence, human trafficking, or child abuse. So again, we are not therapists, we are consultants, but we can lead you to people who can help you. From the behavioral standpoint, on the work environment, that's where we work. So let's go to the presentation today. What topic I'm talking about is about how help and support can make a difference on the workplace. And by the way, one of the topics that people ask me for next Monday, how to deal with bully family during Thanksgiving. It looked like it's a lot of that topic. So if you are need to travel and get with a toxic or crazy family on Thanksgiving, don't miss the show on Monday, because we're going to talk about how to deal with them and how to stop bullying and having difficult conversations. So why people feel blue in your organization? Why they feel blue? For any of the reasons that happen, you need to address it. What we reject teach us the most. Even the creatures we avoid hold a lesson about hope, mental health, and resilience. This is an experiment that on rats in the 1950s, and I do not agree hurting animals, hurting anyone in order to science, but we are not that far away from what animals feel. And everyone who says the animals don't feel, they are completely wrong. So, the signs that change everything. We start talking about mental health, burned out, and emotionally safety today. But doesn't mean that people wasn't looking for this and researching this, maybe don't even knowing what they were looking for. The best experiments, they come out with an outcome that has nothing to do with the initial. The prison experiments, the Manchurian Candidate. None of those experiments were lead to know what happened. So sometimes you need to experiment to know what's going on. This research start analyzing rats, and he decided to do something crazy. The HOPE experiment was done by Harvard in 1950s. Without HOPE, they died in minutes, these rats. With minimal intervention, they survive for hours. The brain register rescue is possible. How? What? That won't happen. The researcher got a bucket of water and put rats to swim. Some of the rats were rescued, and that's what the gross that is gross about this experiment is that some of the rats die. Another rats that were rescued after 15 minutes. They were given some time to recoup, and they were put in water again. You know what happened? The rats that there were time to rest, they were rescued, and they were put on the water back. They swim up to 60 hours. Guess why? Because they're new, they're gonna be rescued. Now, there are a couple of deviations in the study, and the study was repeated. So what they found out that when the rat were domesticated, they have more hope than the rats that were wild. But the wild rats, they receive constantly support and reinforcement. They're going to be safe and they're going to be taken care. Those rats ended up swimming after 60 hours. So today we're going to talk about hope. We're going to talk about experiments. We're going to talk on an everyday life. When you help people, when you support people, when you coach people, when you take someone under your wing and help them to success, nobody can do it alone. I always say to my team, you can go faster by yourself, but you can go deeper with the right people. My team is my right people. Without them, I wouldn't be doing the live because we have a lot of work, but they help with the slides, we help with the research, we get together. You always need somebody to support you, no matter how intelligent and how good you are in your job. Clear? So again, the reason how the experiment happened is not nice, but guess what? We learn a lot. So how research interpreting these findings? Hope eliminate giving up behavior. Behaviors can be learned if they are coming and coming and coming, and you have constant support. New behaviors are learned by what happened with old behaviors. But if the new behavior came reinforcing that the old behaviors are not going to happen, people start having hope. Expecting rescue increase endurance dramatically. If I know If you're my boss and you give me a project and I'm drowning, and at some point I can go to you and I'm going to receive your help, I know that I gonna success. The shift is physiological, not physical. Even though the rats were physically rescued from the bucket and put in a rest area, it was psychologically how they know that they're going to be rescued. Again, whoever says the animals don't have feelings, when one of my cats died, the second one who ended up dying from depression 2 months later, she cried every day. She went to where I have the ashes and get next to the ashes. How we know? It breaks my heart every day because they have feeling. So we are not that far away from animals. Hope come unlearned belief that change behavior. Again, because remember, it's difficult for me to read live. Hope becomes a learned behavior belief that change behavior. Hope become a learning belief that change behavior. If you give me hope that as a homeless, as a person that I have a situation that is domestic violence, human trafficking, you're going to have hope. By the way, we work with institutions and human trafficking and domestic violence. We have friends who are working in nonprofit. Again, if you are a victim or you know anyone who is in this situation and they don't know how to go out, please write to consulting@susanivitz.com, and we're going to lead you to the right resources based on the state where you are. You don't need to get name. You don't need to explain anything. Put resource, I need help, and we're going to get it to you. Sorry, I have hair in my face. Removing hopelessness prevents psychological collapse. Removing hopelessness prevents psychological collapse. If I tell you we're going to be doing this, I'm gonna be there. It's like it happened that way. When I need to explain this to human resource managers, how this works. When you're learning to ride the bike, I don't know if here in the United States, but in Europe, you have the bike and you have two little wheels that holding and carry your bike. So you know that you have the support of the bike. At one point, your parents take the support of those extra two wheels and holding you from back. If you don't turn around to know if your parents are holding the bike to push you to do the right, you don't know if you're helped. But knowing that you have the support and they're not gonna fail, they're not gonna be fall on the floor, is give you the hope to keep riding. Now, when you realize they don't touch you anymore, they're not holding your bike, guess what? You're more propense to fall. So that's how much hope there are going to be rescue mean to people. Hope acts as a biological force multiplier. If one person have hope on the company, many more people are going to have hope. And let me go back here before we go into the slides. There is a study that I love because it's crazy. I couldn't believe it. And initially, I didn't talk about the study because I want to learn more. They did a study with 11 companies, 60,000 hours, 60,000 hours. And they found out that the experiment called the bad apple effect. If you have a negative person, if you have an underachiever in a group of 10 people in a radius of 20 feet for 30 minutes or less, 3.5 for 4 people, again, 3.5 to 4 people are going to be sad, depressed, or underachiever. Or if you have an asshole and a good team, guess what? It's going to ruin the rest of the team. But if you have somebody that's so positive, is overachiever, only your group is going to grow 15%. So that's the reason the percentage of growing are smaller, that you need to infuse more training, you need to infuse more coaching, and you need to infuse more help to your people. Because if it's not, the damage at one point, imagine that you have 2 people in one team. And don't get me wrong, what if it's the coach? What is the manager, like happened in this company that we worked for a year? Again, when she came to us, I'm like, how are we going to be targeting the people in the company? And we come out with a plan. You always can come out with a plan to help others. Remember, one person can affect 3.5 to 4 people in your team. That, believe me, is a lot. Hope, emotion. Okay, here we go. Hope, emotional or behavior? Do you think it's emotional or it's behavior? Hope change physiology. Hope change effort, and hope change outcomes. When I know that I'm going to be rescued, I know when I have a future, when I know I have a possibility, are more successful. And we're going to talk about a couple of experiments and hostage negotiation, the Pygmalion effect, and how cancer patients sometimes recover only for the hope they can be cured. That is called the placebo effect. So today we are talking about the Harvard Hope Experiment. You are not drowning, you have their own coaching. You haven't been coached, you haven't been helped. Tomorrow we're going to talk about, this is going to be fun. This is going to be really fun. We're going to be talking the Karen bias. How biased are you? Obviously you are. We're going to show a couple experiments and things and how people is biased with the branding. People is biased with the persona and how you dress, and how biased is a juror even though they say is not. We're going to show you bias and things that you never saw it before, from a product experiment when they relabel a brand, making think that is expensive, to how people can be prejudiced only for the way you dress. On Thursday, we know that AI is here to stay. What most people don't tell you how AI work in your brain. We're going to talk about left brain, right brain, problems, complex people and impossible people, and what part of the brain and what AI and how AI can help you, how AI stimulate your brain and why. And all the studies, the AI show that you don't need to overuse it, but it's not Google. We're going to talk about that too. Friday, I love it because we are in a cult society and we have the luxury, the pleasure to have the top expert. I would say, I don't know if not only in the United States, on the world. He was in a national tour on Australia, and he was with Joe Rogan 2 weeks ago. And guess what? He's going to be with us. Joe Scope, he's going to be with us. He's going to be a special guest, and we're going to be really careful about the comments. His past make him amazing and what he does. And if you want to know about evil, you need to talk to the devil. And he was the devil for 27 years. So if you want to learn about cult society, how cult work, and how something things as simple as social media is called, don't lose the Friday and Monday. I told you we're going to talk about how to deal with bullies and Thanksgiving. Contact us. We care, we thrive by your comments. You like it, you don't like it, you like this idea to have us for 30 days, bringing topics and ideas, things that maybe you didn't realize that happen out there. Just drop us a connect and LinkedIn. I would love to connect on LinkedIn because that way you can subscribe to our new newsletter, see the videos, and get this in your mailbox every day at 12:15 Central Time. Now, what your brain does when it loses hope. Remember that we talk about the psychological, more the physical. It's not physical change, it's psychological change, but your brain change by a stimulus. Humans unlearning helplessness. Lack of control kills motivation. Lack of control kills motivation. The brain predict failure. Intervention reverse helplessness. When you feel that nothing changed, your brain stop trying. It's like, put it this way, let's talk about the Pavlov dog. Everybody knows, remember? So, and there are another experiments. Let's talk about another experiment. They were putting dogs on a cage. Pavlov effect, most people know it. So let's use another one. So they were putting these dogs in a cage. And every time that they try to leave the cage, they receive electric shock and they come back. Guess what? Dogs, they were wild dogs, domesticated dogs that were trained as extremely intelligent dogs. After trying for certain days, they stop trying. So when you have your people on fear and make them believe they're never going to try, they're never going to be able to conquer, the adrenaline is high. So why am I gonna try it if every time that I bring an idea to the company, every time that I wanna do something different, you punch me in the face? A lot of experts, I don't know if I agree with Alex or Ormosi and everything that he says, but he definitely is really great on marketing and building teams. And he says, you hire somebody who knows more than you know, and you hire, and I think it was, yeah, Steve Jobs says, you hire the best and make the best to hire other best so you can get rid of the bad ones. But the thing that you cannot avoid is to let your people give ideas. You bring people who give ideas. Now, we have the ego in the middle a lot, but if you keep pushing your people down, they're gonna stop trying. And when they stop trying, guess who suffer? You, your company, and your products. And at the end of the day, your account. Expectation shapes performance. High expectation, oxygen on the brain. It's like connecting your brain to an oxygen mask all the time. Why? Because I'm happy to go to work. I'm happy to interact with other people, even though if you work remote. One of the biggest problems now that people come back to the office is they don't know how to interact with each other. It's crazy. So my point with this is can be remote, can be in person, can be in a small group, can be in a big company. The biggest problem is when the big boss is the one who is ruining the team. Belief become behavior. If you believe in something good enough, it change behavior. I'm gonna tell you, we're finished with the slides, and I'm gonna tell you how manipulation and false implanted memories actually is being used to change behavior for the good. Belief is contagious and change outcomes. When someone believes you can do it, you perform better. Elizabeth Ludford become with this theory that you can get implanted memories. She can convince you. I always says, give me a person, a white room, and 35 minutes to an hour, and that person is going to think that is a cat, pee and poo, and a cat litter. Why? There are many ways that you can make people confess. But what if we learn all these things from the bad side and manipulation 101 and confession and things that happened during the Nazi propaganda and the Russians, and we can use it from the good? Elizabeth Ludford was training people, convincing them that they don't like smoking, they love broccoli, they love eat healthy, they don't like to drink. And guess what? Manipulation work on the positive way. Why? Because belief is contagious and change outcomes. Belief become a behavior. So when you believe that you don't like fat food, you believe that you don't like drinking, gambling, that's become a behavior to stay on the time. So if you can convince someone they love broccoli, I love broccoli, so it's not sushi. I hate sushi. The taste in my mouth is weird. I went to China and all these places when I can eat any kind of food, but I cannot eat sushi. If I have somebody telling me then I like sushi, sushi's okay, guess what? Probably I'm gonna end up liking sushi. So when you can make a belief become a behavior, it's positive. Everything can be used for the good or the bad. Example, I can sell you a car and you choose drink and drive. It's nothing I can do. Or I can sell you a car and you can help victims of human trafficking or domestic violence and bring food to the homeless. A lot of people are doing that during Thanksgiving. It's your decision. We can help you to fix situation with the little help of manipulation. By the way, there's nothing wrong with that. My doctor is manipulating my knee. So yesterday I watched the live and I was pulling my hair. I hate it. Truth to be told, I have an old injury in my right knee and I tore my meniscus. There's no way I can avoid the surgery. I actually working with crutches. Yesterday, I decided to take the meds before the live. Guess what? My McDonald, that is my brain, didn't work the way I wanted. I'm going to repeat the live from yesterday because I was pissed off all day when I saw it. So today, I'm in pain. I'm pissed off. My adrenaline is high, but I will not going to allow that mess with my content because these 30 minutes every day is to help you. So if you see me sunken, it's because I was sunken yesterday. I was completely down on meds and a lot of pain too. So life happens when you're too busy making plans. Let's go to the next one. The bridge from science to your life. From despair to action. Once rescue, create possibilities. One win, review expectation. One mentor, rewind the prediction. One mentor. You need one person in your life that can be a coworker, can be a boss, can be human resource, can be a coach the company bring. I do a lot of office hours with companies when I met with teams once a week, and we just go and like what you like about the work, you can do it. I bring new programs, I do training for them once a month in office hours. I have a group that I work every Thursday at 9:30. You couldn't believe it. People who, I don't know if it would be in the company, now they're thriving. Why? Because they have a mentor who tell them that they can do it. I don't lie to them. I teach them. I put a mirror in front of them and says, hey, you can do it. Just try a little harder. The brain needs real life examples, not only motivation. Information, you can find every hole on the media. Every bozo with a camera is an influencer, it's a coach, is a motivational speaker. Nothing wrong, but love, when you're 20 years old, what experience you have. Actually, the tendency in the next 10 years, people of my age or older, a little younger, explaining how life happened. Because guess what? The devil knows more from being old than being the devil. And believe me, I am the freaking devil. The brain needs real examples, not only motivation, transformation. Stop giving information. The coaching bridge. Behavior change with hope. Remember when I told you that a behavior can be a new behavior if you have the right guidance? Hope comes from guidance. Again, coaching, mentoring, training, support from the company, knowing that you have a place to go, and you have. Some people do therapy. People like me do, Cruella de Vil. Completely between Cruella de Vil, The Devil Wears Prada, and Ross Mandel in an interview he did says, "I'm the Frankenstein bride," and like, oh my God, that is genius. I love it. So hope comes from guidance. Guidance equal external brain. External brain, what do you mean? Is to have someone that help you to go through things when you need help. I have an external brain. I have my team. I have a business coach that make me better. Why? Because when you're drowning in your own shit, let's put it that way. I hope they don't censor this in YouTube. And if it's that, I'm not monetized for a reason, so we can say whatever we want. You need someone to show you at least where is the shore. It's not they're gonna take you out of the water. Let's be clear. If you have a coach or a trainer that pull you from the water, that is not the person you need to be working with. You need somebody who's a little harsh with you, tell you you can do it, teach you how to swim, show you where is the shore, and help you to do the job by yourself. Because the worst coaching or the worst therapy or the worst help you can have is the one you become codependent. And one of the problems with domestic violence, human trafficking, and abuse is the codependent on the abuse. And believe it or not, some people says, how this person can be with an abuser for so long. Never criticize the situation until you don't know someone who went through that. You will be freaking out how that happened. Human needs. A pattern interrupt. When you have been doing the same things the same way and you have no hope, when somebody come and interrupt that pattern and says, what if I help you to move the wall instead to hit it with the head? Evidence of rescue. If I rescue one time, if I help you, and when it says rescue, it's not that I'm going to give you a trophy because you come third. I don't agree with that. I think one of the problem we have, and I'm going to own this, and a lot of people is going to attack me, that we have is when you don't fight, when you don't teach people to fight. If I come from school and I have a black eye and I have one bully, the only thing I hear in my house is, I hope tomorrow come out with another black eye because you fixed the problem. I never was celebrated for being last. I never was celebrated for not to get the things done. I don't think in any point I couldn't overcome my dyslexia and my Asperger if I wasn't a fighter. And I found out really, really late how to fix that. But that was hope. When I find out what I have, I learned how to fix it. But if I wouldn't be dealing with a lot of bully during my life, I don't know if I would be where I am. Tell me if that has happened to you. Tell me if you confront a bully doesn't make you stronger. Someone modeling the path. Again, you do not need someone tell you what to do. What you need is someone as an external brain to show you the path. Don't allow anybody to tell you what to do, but help you in how to do it. What does this mean for you? And this is the last one. From rats to humans, you're not drowning. You are predicting failure. And what do you mean with that? How you predict failure? Because you are drowning. You don't have help. Interrupt the pattern. Get one small win. We're going to talk about what is more productive. Do you have a routine or have motivation? And some people move by motivation and some people move by routine. Whatever works for you. I hate to go to the gym. Now I have a perfect excuse with the knee, but I will start going to Pilates because I don't like to go to Pilates. What I did is I start going to bed with the clothing from the gym, and I start putting my mats, my water, my things near to the door. Guess what? Once I get the door, when I cross the path and I get in the car, I put my music, I put my podcast, my audiobook, done, and I start doing it. And because I start feeling well, I start getting one small win. I start getting excited and I start going. And guess what? I start going and I'm doing it until I mess my knee again. Not for the gym, for another reason. Borrow someone else's belief until yours grows. And it's the difference between fake it until you make it. I hate fake it until you make it. One thing is borrow somebody else's belief, and another one is fake it something that you don't know that you're faking. Let me know on the chat if how many times you hear the concept, fake it until you make it. You can't, like, if you don't know what you're faking it, how are you gonna make it? I knew what I want to do with my life, and that's where I maybe fake it. I was telling that I was more secure about than I can conquer, but I never lie about the knowledge that I have about the topic. Today we talk about the Harvard Hope Experiment. You're not drowning. You don't have coaching. After elimination, the hopelessness, the rat do not die. Tomorrow we go on the Karen bias, and we're going to show how you can be biased, even branded, and how luxury brands use bias to draw you to buy. Do we need 850 pair of shoes? Hell no. Do I have those? Yes, I do. Most of them are in storage for security reasons. Now, AI versus brain. AI is not the devil. AI is not going to take your job. It's going to be taken by somebody who knows how to use it. AI is not Google. How it works in your brain. We are in a cult society. We have the luxury to have Jeff Scope. Don't kill me, Jeff. Is Cope. We're going to ask him to pronounce. I never call it for his last name. I always call it by his name. He was in Joe Rogan 2 weeks ago, and now he's going to be with us. Contact us, connect. If you need help, this is the best way to connect with me. LinkedIn, I reply to all my messages. I have media people doing it, but I reply to all my messages. Or send up Mimi email. It can be from any email address. Just put the name of the show that we today and need help or need resources. We don't need to hear anything else. What kind of resource? And we're going to help. We cannot jump in a conversation and a call because we are not therapists, but we can send you with the right people. This is us. This is where we specialize. And now we're going to talk about, if you want to drop questions, we have a constant of people and I see in and out. My team is not today, so I've been paying attention to many things. So if you have questions, let me tell you about Rosenthal. Who knows about the Pygmalion effect? Tick, tick, tick. I have a sound effect, but I will not going to use it because they told me it's annoying. So the Rosenthal effect, the labeling effect, or the Pygmalion effect. They graph a group of students that there were mensa. Mensa is not menso. Menso in Italian is brutto. It's ignorant. But mensa is the test that show that what is your level of intelligence. Level of intelligence has nothing to do with Susan is the goat. make sure you reach out. Oh, thank you. You're a lovely person, Charles. Thank you. You're the best. So Mensa is how you measure the 9 type of intelligent and general intelligent. IQ, I'm lower than a dog. Mensa, I'm higher the average. Why? Because I'm not with numbers and calculations. So they grab this group of students and they grab this group that maybe wasn't so good and they tell them they were Mensa. Guess what happened? Teachers, they didn't know they were doing that with the kids. And you would say, how you do that to kids? Well, what happened is the group that wasn't good enough in the beginning and they tell their Mensa they receive support, they receive coaching. Guess what? Loop, they grow. And the ones that were here, they come here when they told they are not good enough and they stop having support. So from parents, from coaching, for training, for teachers, for therapists, for your physical coach, for your football coach, for ballet coach. These are the people that bring you to another place. Hostage negotiation situation, and let's be clear, I'm a civilian hostage negotiator. What I do is I coach hostage negotiators. And one of the things that I work with them is how to give hope to the person to take the hostages and the people who is inside. And we're not going to be arguing why you need to give hope to someone who is taking hostages. You never know. And you have something else called barricade. Barricade is when somebody trying to commit suicide. And believe it or not, a hostage negotiator, no matter what is the circumstances that person tried to kill themselves, their job is to save that person no matter what. So the next time that you criticize something like that you see on TV, please avoid the ignorance of people who talk without knowing. I ride with these people all the time, and you wouldn't believe the things that go through to say someone, it deserves it, is about hope. You never know what is the circumstances that people is put on the place they are. Even bullies. You know what? When we talk about bully on Monday, do you know that most bullies are bully? They were bully and they're going to keep being bullied. So it's a cycle. You need to cut the cycle. Last one. They did the placebo effect. Placebo effect is to give medication or hope to people that is terminal or is sick. Guess what? The people who give hope, they give emotional support, did better than the people who was given medicine only. The placebo effect work when the people who has been isolated, the people who doesn't have anybody to support them, they're being on their house by themselves. There's people that now we have the consequences that we have depression, we have burnt out, we have people that it's suicidal. And all this can be prevented by emotionally safety. So what the rats have, and I want to close with this if we don't have any more questions, or like my work, thank you very much. I hope that we work together, or you are one of the students, is that if I give you support in the pandemic, I celebrate for 6 months. I work with my team. We are remote. I have people in my team that never met in person. We have been working together for 10 years. I have clients that I never met in person. So I have my circle of people remote, and everybody celebrate because we are introverts and shy and hermits. But the majority of the people didn't know what to do with that. I'm not saying you need to be carrying everybody's hand, but you need to give emotionally space and emotionally safetyness to your team. So if you need help, we have a business. You want to say at the end, what, Susan, are you selling? No, I'm not selling. I'm offering. I'm offering you help, because most people talk, but they don't know what they're talking about. So if you want to have help with your team, maybe you have a boss that is an asshole, a coworker, and you don't know how to approach this person to make them understand that something going on. Or maybe your superiors and make them says like, okay, we need help. Just contact us. And if you are a victim of domestic abuse, human trafficking, that human trafficking is way more complex than you can imagine, or you know a bad situation, just put sources on the subject of the email and we're going to send you the sources we have. Everybody needs someone to stop the drowning. I have my people who stop drowning, the one who tell me how to swim, where is the short and how to do it, but never allow somebody to save you, because that make you addict. People, tomorrow we're going to talk about Karens. Tomorrow is going to be a little more fun. I know today was deep, but you know what? Everybody need to go deep sometimes, and I can be deep. I'm crazy, but deep too. So my lovely tribe, I adore you. And if you think that I'm not for you and you find this life boring and I full of BS, guess what? You make me a favor, because you're not my tribe. I'm weird and special in my own way. My brain work in a weird way, and I love my brain the way it work. So if you're weird, you're different, you're my tribe. I adore you. I see you tomorrow, guys. It's a pleasure to be here with you. Bye.